Today, we're diving into a fascinating story about two neighbors, Thailand and Cambodia. These are nations that are deeply connected by centuries of shared culture, yet they found themselves in a serious conflict, all over a single ancient temple. It's a story that really shows you what happens when history and national pride collide.
And it brings us to this central question, right? How do countries that share so much, that have so much in common, end up in a dispute that can actually turn violent? Well, that's the puzzle we're going to unpack today. You see, the whole situation lives in this state of tension. On one side, you've got these incredibly strong bonds built over hundreds and hundreds of years. But on the other side, you have these very real points of conflict, arguments over borders, who owns historical sites, and, of course, the powerful force of nationalism.
To really get what's going on, we have to start at the beginning. We need to appreciate just how deep these connections really run. So let's start with the foundation of their relationship, their shared roots.
Look, this isn't just about two countries that happen to be next to each other on a map. Their histories are totally intertwined, From the influence of the ancient Khmer Empire to their shared Buddhist traditions that are still a huge part of daily life. This shared heritage, it's the bedrock of their entire relationship.
But even with all that shared history, there's one specific place that has become a major flashpoint. So now let's zoom in on the temple that sits at the very heart of this modern dispute. And here it is, the Preah Vihar Temple. It's this absolutely incredible ancient Hindu temple, a site of immense cultural and historical importance for both countries. And its location? Well, that's the whole issue. It's perched right up near the border, which is exactly why it's become such a point of contention. Now, this dispute got so serious that it went all the way to the highest court on the planet for this kind of thing, the International Court of Justice, or the ICJ. This is basically the UN's main court for settling legal battles between countries. So back in 1962, the ICJ made a huge ruling. The temple itself belonged to Cambodia. But, and this is the part you really have to catch, the court didn't make a final decision on the land surrounding the temple. That little bit of ambiguity, well, that's been a source of tension ever since and has even led to actual military clashes. But it's really easy to think this is all about the temple. In reality, that's just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. The conflict is really fueled by three big things. The temple dispute, for sure, but also ongoing issues about the border in general, and really powerful feelings of nationalism in both countries. Okay, so why does any of this really matter? I mean, it's just a line on a map, right? Well, a line on a map can have huge, real-world consequences. Let's take a look at the ripple effects of this conflict and how it actually impacts people's lives. The most serious effect, without a doubt, is that this isn't just a political debate. These tensions have boiled over into actual armed confrontations. We're talking military clashes along the border that have tragically cost people their lives on both sides. And then, of course, you've got the strain it puts on the official relationship. It just makes it so much harder for the governments of Thailand and Cambodia to work together on all the other important stuff when this one issue is always there, like a constant sore spot. And maybe most importantly, beyond all the politics and diplomacy, there's the human cost. This conflict directly impacts the safety, the jobs, and the day-to-day lives of thousands of regular people who just happen to call these border areas home. So you've got this long history and these very real consequences. So how do you move forward? How do you fix it? Let's shift gears now from the problems to the potential solutions and talk about the path to peace. From what we can see, a real path to peace seems to boil down to a three-pronged approach. First, at the top, you need peaceful negotiations between the governments. That's a must. Second, you need cooperation on the ground, working together to protect their shared heritage. And third, and this is so important, you've got to build trust from the bottom up, fostering relationships between the actual people living their lives along the border. You see, each one of those steps, they're all pushing toward the same ultimate goal, to really understand their shared history, to respect each other as neighbors, and to build a lasting peace for the future. When you step back and look at the whole picture, this entire situation is such a powerful reminder, not just for that region, but for all of us, of just how crucial it is to find peaceful solutions, even when things like history and land are on the line. So we want to leave you with this question to think about. When a political border cuts right through a deep and shared history, who really gets to write the next chapter? Is it the politicians, the courts, Or is it the people themselves?